We have a very nice question from Catherine here, who's asking, and I'd like to ask Dr. Al-Bakane to share her experience, common pitfalls or mistakes you've seen in grant applications, and how can early career researchers avoid that? So please keep your answers short. We'll try and get a few questions in with the time we have. Over to you.
Thank you, Len. Thank you for the question. As I mentioned in the presentation, you need to follow the application template and to see what are the funders' priorities. For example, if they are focusing on climate change, you need to update your proposal according to the problem. For sure, it will be from your background. You will not be away from your background, but you need to, not to modify, but I will say to update it according to the funders' goals. For sure, we all have mistakes when we are writing a proposal, but as I also mentioned, give it to someone that you trust. And for example, I gave it to my sister to read it. And she has, in fact, she told me at that time, Ramya, you have a weak point here. She has his own eyes vision that she told me, if I am a reviewer, I will not put this, or I will modify this. So ask someone that you trust in your field or out of your field. And for sure, learn from your previous applications, the unsuccessful one. This is what I do usually, and I improve myself. And the last thing, try to take trainings, attend, and participate in skills, workshops to improve your skills. Even if you are a senior, I am a professor, but up to now, I participate and I attend all the webinars that I received, in fact, as an invitation, or I search over the Google. If there is, a webinar or something can help me to develop my skills. So in this case, you can develop your skills and improve the way that you write your proposal.
Thank you so much, Dr. Al-Bakane. This leads me to another question. We have a very nice question from Cindy, who is saying, looking ahead, because we're in such a rapidly evolving world with AI and ChatGPT and what you name it, but how do you see grant writing evolving, and what skills should researchers cultivate to stay competitive? So really, Ankur, perhaps Dr. Patwardhan, you would like to try your hand at this, and then we can hear from Dr. Chikere as well.
That's an interesting question indeed.
It is.
Because it poses challenges also to the jury members when you resort to such tools, because these tools give you some kind of a definite fineness in writing. But when you are developing a particular theme, and if you are already working previously in the field, then your project actually brings out the nitty-gritties of the subject, which are that way difficult for even ChatGPT to paint through. So then, as I said, it also is a challenging for the reviewers in that case. But my honest suggestion will be try to draft a proposal in your own words, okay? Because it has got a different flavor and different level of understanding. Okay, the language or the expression may be raw, but at least it gives a clear indication to the reviewers that yes, you are deeply involved with the topic and you are really keen to take it forward. So instead of going for some flashy thing, if you stick to what you want to express, maybe in your own language, fineness can be brought out later. That will actually really help.
Thank you so much, Ankur. Really appreciate that. So we're out of time, but I'd like to give the last word before I wrap up to Chioma, to Dr. Chikere. So what you shared so many wonderful ideas, including to incorporate indigenous knowledge into, where relevant, into your work. Not to forget this. There's a whole body of knowledge and expertise there. Thought that was really worth a lot. But do you have any kind of last words you'd like to share with our attendees, recommendations for them as they embark on their grant writing and award proposals?
Thank you, Ilan. Yes, indigenous people, most of the things that we produce from the labs will be used to better the lots of people, especially people living in under-resourced economies, environment, settings. So the indigenous people, they have this wisdom that has been there from generation to generation. Just like my colleagues opined, artificial intelligence has to do with existing knowledge that has been imputed into databases. So if it's not there, it cannot be generated. So you need to still communicate with the people, have a robust research network, try to meander through the villages, through the remote communities, and understand what their issues are. For instance, I'm working with some of my colleagues in Northern African universities. One of them, Professor Edwin Madala, in the University of Venda, they have discovered that some indigenous plants that are being used by some women over the years as indigenous contraceptives, they actually have estrogen-like chemicals, chemicals. So they are now reflecting into that using metabolomics to refine and collaborate with indigenous people to understand how we can make natural pills from these plants. And not to only talk about that, we have a session looking at the African Science Renaissance that we are speaking at the Science Summit of the United Nations General Assembly, the 8th of that, in September, and we are talking about indigenous knowledge, indigenous people, and how we will refine and have a rebirth to foster African Union development, talking about the Africa we want. So we have to collaborate with them.
Yes, thank you so much. And thank you to all of our speakers, Dr. Patwardhan, Dr. Alba-Kane, and Dr. Chikere. You heard a lot about the Elsevier Foundation Chemistry for Climate Action Challenge, but so many of the tips and tricks and ideas and that you heard about today are relevant for so many different grant proposals, awards you may be applying for. So hopefully you've drawn something from this, and we really appreciate your attending. Send us your feedback, and thank you. Thank you all so much.